Hi guys, my name is John Galusha, and I want to talk to y'all today about climate change. And more importantly, I want to talk about your carbon footprint and why it impacts the planet. So let's get right into it. What is a carbon footprint? The carbon footprint is a summation of all the things that you do, activities, as the book likes to call it, that require energy and more importantly, emit CO2. So there's actually 5 categories that really when it comes down to it, create the most of our CO2 usage in the atmosphere. That is the food we eat, the place we stay, the car we drive, the goods we buy, and the services we use. So when we look at it as a whole, there's a couple of different things that really go into factors on why. For food, it is, are we doing local versus processed? With shelter, is it energy efficient for our home, or is it an older model that requires more energy to maintain? Our mobility, it's the car we drive, whether it's a Tesla versus a Mustang. The goods, it could be something that's mass produced or just handmade. And the same with services. Also, is it a mass produced service or is it not? And those are factors that really need to go into play when we're considering our carbon footprint. So for me, when I took this quiz, there was 2 for me that were really bad. There's the food I eat and the shelter that I live in, and that makes sense. Honestly, I wasn't too surprised by this quiz because again, where I live and what I consume are not major priorities in my life. Now they should be. Now that I've seen this quiz, absolutely. But my mobility, the goods I purchase, not the ones I'm eating, but just the ones I purchase, and the services I use, aren't really that high with the CO2 usage. And that's actually shocking and exciting for me because I do carpool to work. I do not buy as many goods as I need. And the services I use, it's really scarce if I do. So that's a really exciting thing. Now let me get really right down to the heart of it. I've talked about me quite a bit, but let's talk about you. Why should you care about carbon footprint? Well, truthfully, we all live on the same planet. And the more CO2 we put in the atmosphere means that the more heat that's going to be trapped in the atmosphere because of that CO2 usage. And if we were all just semi-aware, through a basic calculation of our carbon footprint, we could really help lower CO2 emissions. In turn, help make the Earth a safer and warmer place to live. I mean, we all live on this planet. Why not take care of it? But again, I want to encourage you, look into this stuff. You'd be surprised at the simple things we could do to make that fix happen. Whether it's repairing things around the house, patching up old clothes and reusing them, making sure that we could simply replace thermometers in our home that are getting older with a smarter thermometer that really could be a bit more energy efficient. Maybe it's looking at the kind of car that we drive. Nowadays, it doesn't have to. You don't have to go and buy a big fancy Tesla, but you can put in energy chips that help lower the CO2 emissions in your car. And I believe in Gwinnett County, you have a emissions test you have to take, which really does help the planet. And lastly, I encourage you, do not buy when you do not need things. I know America is a society of consumption and having goods, and the more we have kind of shows that wealth and value. But in reality, we don't really need that. If we just use the stuff we need, I think that honestly the Earth and humanity as a whole would be a better and safer place. Thank you. Have a great day.